It's the start of a very important month or so for Toulouse players in particular. The Six Nations is looming and the Rouge et Noir expect to be well represented in the France squad. There's also a European quarter-final spot to wrap up. Meanwhile at home, the race for the top 14's top 6 is going into overdrive. There may also be a backlash on the way for Bordeaux Begles. Toulouse don't get beaten often at the Stade de France, but that's what happened 2 weeks ago when Connacht sprung one of the great shocks in the Heineken Cup. It's Toulouse against Bordeaux Begles, and here's the Toulouse side that Guy Noves has picked to get the job done. 6 changes to the starting 15, which won well in Galway last weekend. Among those retained are the half-back Jean-Marc Doussin and Lionel Beauxis. Maxime Médard switches from the wing to full-back. Louis Picamol is at 7 and will be anxious to impress. The All-Black Jose Guia and Christopher Tolofua have been the busiest players in the Toulouse squad so far this season. The replacements include 3 South Africans, Radapelle, Ferreira and Vermaak. Jean-Baptiste Poux played in 9 major finals for Toulouse and returns to the Ernest Vallon for the first time since departing to Bordeaux during the summer. It's a fearsome front row with the Samoan hooker Ole Avei and Benjamin Sarr combining with Poux. Fly half Pierre Bernard is one of the league's most successful points accumulators, while no one has scored more tries this season than Matuisela Talabula. The replacements include the Argentina fly half Nicolas Sanchez. The referee is Alexandre Ruiz. Running the lines, Patrick Pechambert, who has taken charge of a top 14 final, and Laurent Schlaffer, the television match official, if required, Bruno Bessot. It's 5th against the side in a share of 9th place. Toulouse anxious to maintain the pressure on the likes of Clermont and Toulon. Clermont, having beaten Biarritz earlier in the day, picking up the full 5 points. And Toulon, well, they did a similar job on Montpellier. There's Jean-Marc Doussin out to Lionel Beauxis. Picamol with the offload. Maxime Médard straight into the action. Médard playing at fullback today. They've got plenty of options at fullback at Toulouse with Yoann Huget and Clement Poitrenaud. Well, the ball being dropped there by Dali Dombo. And Bordeaux penalised.
Toulouse showing early doors there, the dominance up front, 2 big carries, and their intent to play. I should think tonight the information from Noves will be to try and get a bonus point. Very ominous. Early mistake by the 15 for Bordeaux. He'll want to settle the nerves. And
well, there's Yannick Josian, who said earlier this week that he would consider a return back to rugby, perhaps as a coach. Who knows? He's here tonight. Interesting. Christopher Tolofua misses his man. That's been something of an Achilles heel for Toulouse hookers over the course of the last 2 or 3 seasons since the departure of William Servat. There goes Picamol. Good throw Steenkamp, the Springbok. Here's Yannick Nyanga. On to Joe Takori. Takori, a top 14 champion last season with Castra. There is Tolofua again. Well, it was there for Jean-Marc Doussin. The referee awarding the penalty. Johan Montes is off. You see Guy Noves there and Jean-Baptiste Elisal, the coaching staff from Toulouse, as we see Lionel Beauxis and Beauxis. When it's going right for Beauxis, it looks so easy, doesn't it?
oh, he's kicking, he makes everything look easy when it's going right. I think consistency is one of his problems. I think Toulouse this week, or the last week as well, would have been a kick at the backside with their result at home to Connacht.
Avei finding Matt Clarkin, the captain. There goes Avei, who's the first pick hooker for Samoa these days, keeping out the Clermont man, Tiapolo. Out from Adams, onto the fly-off Bernard. There's Dombo coming into the line. Now, he's very highly regarded at Bordeaux as an attacking fullback. Benjamin Sarr. Well, there was nobody there, but Avey goes and tidies up. Avey, who's certainly been one of the players of the season so far. There's Bernard, changing direction. Well, the direction on the kick, not as good as perhaps it should have been.
They will be disappointed with the outcome there, but the build-up was good. A few phases into the game, getting over on the front foot, fast dynamic ball to release the Bordeaux back three.
Yes, we've got a glimpse there of the Bordeaux Begles director of rugby, Raphael Ibanez, 98 caps for France. Here it is for Madol, Louis Madol, already a try scorer this season in the home win against Oyonnax. Good drive from the Bordelais. There's Clarkin, the captain, the little inside ball to Connor. Looked a shade forward, perhaps. There's the scrum half, Haney Adams. Didn't play for South Africa, but once played for the emerging Springboks. That's the Toulouse 22 you can see in the background, taken on by Jean-Dre Marais. Another of the South Africans on view here. He certainly had a good start to his career in the top 14. There goes the former Rouge et Noir, Pooks. Advantage being played here to Bordeaux Begles. Madol turning around and gathering it. Scooped up there by Ray. Well, it appeared the referee was playing an advantage, but he's letting play continue. Through goes Connor. Well, where's the support? Terrific break from Connor. There it is. Well gathered by Adams. On to Clarkin. Superb drive from Bordeaux Begles.
That's what we've come here to see tonight. Superb offering, fantastic break from the 11 O'Connor. Picking a weakness in the line, scything through it, and then the support was there to score a wonderful try in the opening 10 minutes of the game.
Nobody has scored more tries in the top 14 this season than Matuasela Talabula, who's on the right wing for Bordeaux Begles this evening. Just the start they were looking for. They've only ever won twice in Toulouse. 2 wins in the same season in 1992 and 93. Gallin knocks it on.
Première faute à l'avant du rouge. Deuxième du 8 blanc. Flexion. Lié. Jeu. 3 blancs.
Well, the penalty against Benjamin Sarr. Jean-Marc Doussaint wants to get on with it.
S'il vous plaît. C'est là ou là?
Well, from the mark, it's either from here or there, but not over there, is what Alexandre Ruiz is saying.
It's frustrating as a player when you want to play quickly and keep the game going when that happens. I understand it's the letter of the law, but occasionally a little bit of leeway would be nice.
Yes, and according to the letter of the law, there was at least one player in a red jersey there ahead of the ball before it was kicked. There's Clark in the try scorer, onto Avey. Scooped up by Pooks to Adams. Bernard with a change of direction straight into his number 8, Tuafua. Picked that up right in the face.
That is going to hurt.
Picamol, the big handoff. Not many people in the top 14 haven't felt the force of that hand at some point.
He doesn't look in a good way, does he?
Oui, 9.
Here goes Gaël Fickou. What a talent he is. Doussaint. On to Miloslavski, the tackle from the try scorer Clarkin. Doussaint again. On here to Tolofua. Dragged to the ground by Avey. Doussaint. On to Takori. Another crunching contact there for Tuafua, the number 8. Nyanga just spinning through the tackle. Here's Guthrie Steenkamp. Picamol with the pickup. 12.5 minutes gone. Bordeaux Begles lead, 7 points to 3. Boxis, the long pass out. Here's Medard. Oh, great little break there from Gia. ball's still there. It's Medard being held up by Talabula. Got through Steenkamp. Jean-Baptiste Poux almost threw himself at Steenkamp's knees. Here's Tolofua. Into Tuafua. Back here, the attempt to the drop's going to come. Boxes had to reach down for it. It's a good strike from Boxes.
There's only one thing happening when he gets in that position, and that's 3 points. I think going back to Jose Gear, then when Medard created the overlap on the outside, here we see it. Everything had been done. If he just had slipped the ball to Huger, then I'm sure Huger would have raced for the corner. And as it is, they'll settle for 3 points. Easy money.
Yeah, let's talk a bit about the back three here, because we traditionally, those whose, should we say that many of their opinions shaped 15, 20 years ago would think of the men up front as being the big fellas, and maybe the quick lads who are not as physically imposing in the back line. But if we look at the back three here, Medard maybe to put to one side, but you've got Jose Gear on one wing, and you've got Huger on the other. They're two huge men, aren't they?
They're big, fast, powerful men. In the tight, can break tackles. Also out wide, they're extremely fast, agile on their feet. And when they get the ball in space, it's very difficult to defend them.
And you know, as a fullback, and so often you find yourself having to make those tackles in open spaces, you just have to make them, don't you? And you cannot afford to make a single mistake as a fullback.
One mistake and it's a try. And the more times these guys get the ball, the more likely they are to do something with it and create opportunities for their team. It doesn't help when they're 105 kgs either.
Well, there's Louis Picamol. May not be quite as quick as Gear and Huger, but well in excess of 105. There's Fritz spinning it out to Ficou, and here is Jose Gear. Well over 6 feet tall. Not an ounce of fat on him. Medard. Madol made the tackle that time. It's there again for Dusan, who got it away to Jose Gear, who's that familiar forward lean, and look at the meterage he made there despite the tackle. He's been stripped. And it's Jandré Moret, the South African, who has it. Well, that was timely for Bordeaux Begles. Benard in the in-goal area. But despite the attentions of Huger, it was Adams who got the ball away. Here's Medard. Another tackle from Louis Madol. Oh, Talabula coming in from the side. It's going to be a penalty, and that is very indisciplined from the Fiji international. There, the little casual poke by Lionel Boxes. And Toulouse are now in front. Guy-Neves and Johan Huger. Believe me, Guy-Neves is not short. Huger is a good 3 or 4 inches taller.
He's probably telling him to ask Jose Gear to give him the ball next time.
Joe Worsley, you can see at the back there on the left. The defence coach for Bordeaux Begles. Bordeaux Begles won't have come here with high hopes. They come away with anything at all, a losing bonus point. I suspect they'll be quite happy. For clubs like Bordeaux Begles, well, look, they've turned it. Clarkin. The little stab through there from Le Bourgis. Opportunity for Connor. Well, that was an important intervention there from Maxime Medard, and Blair Connor making his presence felt tonight.
I think another mistake there by Galland from the kick-off. He turned over the ball, which gave Bordeaux possession and another little dab through. Nearly put O'Connor in the corner. Fantastic cover tackle by Medard.
Yes, he certainly had to get the timing right, didn't he? Here is Tolofua, who will want to get his throw right. Misses his man. Oh, and then I think that might have been knocked forward. It's been taken over. Here's Boxes. Well, the referee saw nothing wrong there. It might be interesting to have another look at that. I think one or two Bordeaux players are maybe muttering.
Little errors like that will not go down well with Neves.
Well, that's a knock-on, isn't it?
Yes. As he called it, Ibanez doesn't seem very happy.
Well, that really was a very clear knock-on. Scrum 5 metres out, that would have been very concerning for Toulouse. Here's Réservez, Clarkin with a two-handed take. Not the first time tonight that Christopher Tolofua has missed his man in the line-out. You were watching the game a few weeks ago when Toulouse travelled to Brive. It was Chili Boy Radapelli playing at hooker that day, who in a similar position couldn't find his man in the line-out and gifted a try, which in the end proved crucial. Here's Poux. Poux, who started off his rugby career at Béziers, moved on to Narbonne, two of the great sides there of the 80s and 90s in France, before coming to Toulouse. Pacati, the huge second row, former shot putter. He's playing at Montpellier for the last 2 or 3 seasons. No shortage of ballast in that front 5 tonight for Bordeaux Begles. Bernard. This is for Talabula to chase. Oh, Talabula got to it. But in the end, after a bit of basketball, Médar's got it. Médar's dangerous in this position. Look at Huget sprinting. Well, that shows you how quickly Toulouse can counter.
Incredible class, a bit fortunate with the rebound from the ball, but from Médard, but fantastic play, fantastic awareness that he wasn't going to make it, and knowing that his mates on the outside, Huget, will be at his side. If that ball was stayed in, that was definitely been a try.
Yes, Toulouse just 3 losing bonus points on the road this season in the top 14, but at home they've done very little wrong indeed. Of course, I'm talking about the top 14, not the Heineken Cup, where they lost here to Connacht, but they've got 33 top 14 points at home out of a possible 35. Although one thing we know about tonight is they will need at least 4 tries to get the try bonus point. At the moment, it's 9 points to 7. It's been a great start for Bordeaux Begles. Here's Haney Adams. Huget's there with the yellow boots. Good catch. Well, that was pretty tight, but I think it looked pretty fair. Crowd don't think so. There's Toussaint. Clarkin chasing after him. Opportunity maybe to counter here. Here's Jose Guilla. The inside ball to Florian Fritz. Madol adds another to his tackle count for the evening. Lost forward though. Well, here's an opportunity. The ball sits up. It's Dombo. He's going after it again. Well, oh, and then was he elbowed by Médard? It looked like it.
Looked very dubious. That looked like a bit of obstruction there off the ball.
Well, it's Maxime Médard on Dali Dombo, isn't it? And this is going to be passed on. So this is for Bruno Bessot in the television truck. But you can see, oh, that's a clear obstruction, isn't it?
It must be a penalty try. His eyes weren't even on the ball.
Right. Let's see what Bruno Bessot makes of it. Bear in mind, we are in Toulouse.
No, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
René Bouscatel, we saw in the middle there, the Toulouse president, who resigned from one of the big committees in French rugby this week, sparking a bit of speculation about a little bit of disquiet in the management ranks in French rugby. Well, look at this ball, and it's rumbling on from Bordeaux Begles. Out from Adams, onto Bernard. There's Le Bohis. Oh, bouncing off the 2 tacklers, but the referee's going to come all the way across. It's going to be a penalty to Bordeaux Begles.
Once again, Bordeaux making yards from a drive and then letting the ball go wide to try and get their outside backs in the game. It's great to see that they're going there to actually throw the ball around, which, as I've said before, many teams go and just shut up shop, talk about winning, getting a bonus point. But teams who go to Toulouse and take them on their own game, fair play to them.
Can you explain the form this season of Toulouse? Because if we put to one side almost the aberration, the defeat here by Connacht in the Heineken Cup, their home form has been almost without blemish. I mean, they've won every game in the top 14, bonus points almost everywhere, but they've done nothing on the road. Is it because Toulouse timed their season to start really after Christmas?
It's hard to put your finger on it. You don't, when you see the squad that they've got, you don't know why they can't go away from home and perform well. It's just a French thing.
Oh, Bernard firing it like a missile. So that's why Pierre Bernard is among the biggest accumulators in French rugby at the moment. You've only got to look at the way salaries are paid in France as well to see just how well remunerated the points accumulators are. The likes of Johnny Sexton and Johnny Wilkinson, Morgan Parra. Those three in the top 6 of best paid players in the top 14. Well, that didn't go 10 metres from Lionel Begles. Scrum back on halfway.
The last thing you want is to make an unforced error like that, especially when you've been under the cosh. You've just taken 3 points. You want to put the pressure straight back on the opposition, and putting up an unforced error like that, you'll be disappointed with that. Gives Bordeaux another great tacking opportunity from a scrum to unleash their speedsters out wide.
Well, Bordeaux Begles have won the French Championship on 2 previous occasions. The first time in 1969, and then again in 1991. Both occasions they actually beat Toulouse in the final. 1991. Do you remember who the Bordeaux Begles scrum half was in 1991?
As a matter of fact, I do.
You do, do you? Tell me who it is.
Monsieur Laporte.
Correct, Bernard Laporte. Not a lot of people know that. There's probably a lot of people in France, but we associate him so much with being a coach, we tend to forget he was a rather handy scrum half as well. Second of those finals at the Parc des Princes, down there in the southwest corner of Paris, alongside the new Jean Bouin. Here's Adams. Bernard smashes it into the ground, sets up the line out. I guess he thinks there may be some vulnerability there in the throwing arm of Christopher Tolofua.
I also like the way Bordeaux at the moment are mixing up their game. Driving, chucking the ball wide, also putting little kicks through, mixing their game up. The 10's mixing the game up very nicely. And it's putting Toulouse under all sorts of trouble.
Yes, 1 or 2 slight amendments in the coaching staff during the summer for Bordeaux Begles, with Marc Delpoux, who brought them up from Pro de Deux, moving on to Perpignan. Here comes the drive from Avé. Adams. Clark in the try scorer. The inside ball to Louis Medol. There's Bernard. Attempt at the drop. And it's good. Well, get into the 22. Get points whenever you get there. That appears to be the mantra.
As Sir Clive Woodward used to tell us, keep the scoreboard ticking over. That's exactly what they're doing there. Once again, the forwards taking it forward, setting up a perfect opportunity to get 3 points. Had the option to go wide then, but took the easy, difficult snap drop goal. Got the 3.
Yes, the arrival of Pierre Bernard, he does look a good acquisition. Camille Lopez followed Marc Delpoux to Perpignan. There's Blair Connor again. Clarkin on to Tolofua. Haney Adams, Clarkin looking for the offload. Dali Dombo had rather overrun it. Through the half hour. Here's Talabula chasing after it. Good catch from Yohan Houget, who's certainly developing all the time as a player. He sometimes thought that maybe it was an accident waiting to happen. Well, Tolofua has gone to ground under the challenge from Talabula. He's quite a hard lad, is Christopher Tolofua, so he really must have felt that. Yohan Houget getting a few boots there in the back. Joe Takori taking a swing at Julian Ray. And there are quite a few things here, I think, for one or two officials to look at.
The crowd's whistling because they think he came in from the side, but there was actually no ruck formed. So it was perfectly legal.
So there was no offside line?
No.
Certainly Joe Decory, I think, was perhaps reacting to the boot in the back of...
That's where the touch judge, I think, needs to step in, because he was using his boot. I think he was just letting the touch judge know that he was on the wrong side.
Yeah, it's Julian Ray who's been singled out, as he was by Joe Decory.
Merci. Capitaine, s'il vous plaît. Capitaine, s'il vous plaît.
I wonder if there's going to be a yellow card here. Let's listen into this. Certainly Julian Ray's been called forward.
35 minutes qu'on joue, c'est assez propre. 33, 32, c'est assez propre. On va calmer un petit peu, d'accord? Sur le plaquage, pour nous, il est légal. Ensuite, vous n'essuyez pas les crampons. Il y aura 5 pénalités contre vous ici. C'était...
I think it looked bad because he just blindsided him. It was a perfectly legal challenge, as referees rightly said, but for Toulouse to win a penalty for using the studs on his back is a little bit harsh. I think he was just trying to let the touch judge know that Toulouse was lying on the wrong side. I think if he really used his studs, he wouldn't be running around now.
Yes, and Houget, I think, stayed down for good effect. Well, there you see it. There's a little scratch across the back of the leg. There's another one there.
He's actually pointing to the touch judge, telling him he's on the wrong side. I think it's a very soft penalty.
So, Tolofua, he too restored, goes short. That was for Picamol. Referee playing an advantage here to Toulouse. The ball knocked forward from a Bordeaux Begles hand. Decory's over.
Stop, il n'y aura pas l'avantage. Il y a en avant des blancs. Il n'y a pas l'avantage, mais pour les rouges.
I'll also be quite interested to see if that line out went 5 metres.
Mais les rouges.
The Toulouse line-out at the moment is not firing on all cylinders, which will be a concern for them. I would think when half-time's looming, Guy Noves will be having a word. There's a lot of unforced errors going on.
On fait les efforts, hein. Notre joueur, pas trop tôt, s'il vous plaît. Vous attendez, on attend.
Well, if you haven't been following the news that's been coming out of France and also out of the Leicester Tigers over the course of the last 2 or 3 days, every indication that Toby Flood will be wearing the 10 jersey for the Rouge et Noir next season. Richard Cockerell confirming today to BT Sport that Flood will be leaving Leicester at the end of the season. Stories in the newspapers on Thursday night and Friday morning in France saying that Flood has agreed to go to Toulouse, although Flood sent out himself on his Twitter account not so much a denial as an explanation, saying that he would make his final decision in January about his future, but at least one end of his future was determined by Richard Cockerell today. Well, he's a bit of a no-nonsense merchant, is Mr. Cockerell. I think he's perhaps run a little impatient with a lot of the things that have been going on, so in all likelihood it looks like Toby Flood will be a Toulouse player next season. There's the long clearance kick. Jose Guerre was hanging back for it onto Maxime Médard. Comfortably gathered there by Darly Blanvo. There is Pierre Bernard with a huge boot. Here's Gala. Jean-Marc Toussaint. Almost getting underneath Ola Abeyi.
This is exactly where Bordeaux want Toulouse to be playing from. Playing deep from their own half, trying to run out, forcing them to make errors.
Médard just trying to find a gap around the fringes. Toussaint. Beauxis. Here's Gaël Fickou. Certainly take a deep breath every time he gets the ball in hand with a little bit of space. He's a super prospect. Already a France international, but oh, and look at the counter-rucking here from Bordeaux Begles. They get the put in.
Just like we've just said, make Toulouse play out their own half and force them into turning the ball over. There's no need to be running it at your own 22, your own 10-metre line. Kick it down deep and make them play. Great turnover again, counter-rucking by the forwards and backs alike.
Beg your pardon, Ian. This is the first time we've seen Bordeaux Begles this season on BT Sport. Plenty of power on the bench for Toulouse tonight, including the France captain, Thierry Dusautoir there to his left, to our right, a certain Census Johnston. Expect to see both of them, particularly if this continues to be a close contest into that second half.
I'm sure you might see a couple of them coming on at half-time, just to give a bit of stability.
Well, if you're watching this match, Toulouse against Bordeaux Begles from Bristol tonight, you might be torn. The reason is that both these towns and cities are actually twinned with Bristol, both Bordeaux and Toulouse. Two lovely places, I must say. That time it was Yannick Nyanga who had to take evasive action from the kick from Lionel Begles. There's the long clearance, which has just gone a little too deep, and that'll be easy to deal with for Maxime Médard.
Bordeaux will be happy with that. A couple of loose kicks from both teams, but they put the pressure back on Toulouse, and Toulouse now have to kick out from their own half and give the ball straight back to Bordeaux.
Begles for the restart. Here's Henny Adams just evading the approaching Yannick Nyanga. Blair Connor being spun around. Missing out Pooks to Avey. I get a sense that maybe Bordeaux Begles, oh dear, Louis Medall with a very clumsy fingers, a chance to maybe counter here to get something out of the last couple of minutes of the half. Here's Fritz. There is some space, the advantage is over. Defence is coming across, Maxime Médard cutting across, they want to take him down early. He's made good meters there as Maxime Médard. Begles for the offload to Gallin. This is better from Toulouse. An opportunity which really they shouldn't have been given. The advantage now being played to Toulouse. Begles on a Fiku. Talabula. Jandre Morer is in there trying to rip the ball out, but it's still there for Toulouse. Jean-Marc Doussain, final minute of the first half. Crucial period, surely. Florian Fritz. Still an advantage being played to Toulouse. Tolofua is there. It all came from a knock-on, an unforced knock-on from Louis Medall. There's Nyanga. Doussain has it now. 5 metres out, Toulouse. Jean-Marc Doussain, the scrum half, right in the heart of it there. Outburst Picamole. Well, in terms of advantages, well, he was playing a second advantage in the end. That was long, wasn't it? So Begles has been pretty useful so far tonight off the kicking tee. It's a good night for Lionel Begles. He gets the 3 points, and it's back to a 1-point game at the Stade de France. It has been an encouraging first 40 for the visitors from Bordeaux. Martin Gillingham alongside me, Ian Bolshaw. Well, if Bordeaux Begles are to prevail, what have they got to do right in this second half?
I think they've just got to do more of the same. That would be the message at half-time from their coaches. Try and cut down the few enforced errors, keep Toulouse deep in their own half, and pressurise them into playing out.
Well, there is Pierre Bernard. Long clearance kick. Julien Gallant has also gone off and been replaced, so both sides making changes. Picamole.
Fantastic tackle there by Connor. Like we just said, Bordeaux won't want to be giving easy counter-attack ball like that to the likes of Médard, Guia and Huget. Here we see Picamole. Fantastic low tackle by Connor.
Tell us a bit about knocking that fella down. He's got a pair of tree trunk legs. You've got him coming at you down the wing. You're a fullback. I mean, how do you deal with it?
Not like I did when I played against him first time and got barreled him to touch. No, those guys just got to get low, keep your legs driving, hit your shoulder into the thighs and grip tight around both legs. Easier said than done.
Hang on for dear life and hope they go down. Here's Réservez, whose statistics suggest he's one of the best performers in the top 14 this season, the hooker. There is the replacement scrum half, Sabus, who's missed most of the last couple of seasons because of injury. But good to see him back here, playing his part for Bordeaux Begles. That was Le Bourhis who fell on it. And he's staying there rather too long, and Louis Picamol wants to go. So, Lionel Begles, the place kickers for Toulouse. Their record as a collective, not very good this season, but not much wrong with Lionel Begles this evening. He slots the 3 points. That's the sort of start that Toulouse were looking for in their second half. They now find themselves in front. Guy Neves, who does most of his communication by whistle.
It's been very interesting to be a fly on the wall at the half-time talk in the Toulouse changing room. A few choice words.
Is he a bit of a shouter, do you know?
I'm not too sure. But I think he knows what he wants, and he usually gets it.
Yes, I had a few words with your director of rugby, Laurent Rodriguez, last week. Wouldn't want to catch him on a bad day. There's Begles for the clearance kick.
I didn't realise he spoke English.
He didn't. I got by with my best French. He was polite but forceful. Here's Touafou. Yes, I dropped in on training and I don't think I was entirely welcome. There goes Matthew Clark in the try scorer, Sabus. On there to Fakati. Huge man, Ali Fakati. There's Bernard. Le Bourhis, Talabula. Well, that was a bit untidy from Talabula, in all honesty. Chance to counter here now for Bedard, but the referee, well, he's seen not one but two knock-ons. The first one from Bordeaux Begles, the second from Toulouse. Yes, interested to see Yannick Jauzion at the match tonight. He was asked, did he see himself getting back into rugby? And he volunteered. He quite liked the prospect of maybe being a coach sometime. There goes Réservez. Sabus. Forward goes Benjamin Sarr, former Racing Metro. Sabus again. Here's Bernard, referee playing an advantage here. It's Roman Miloslavski who's been penalised, so... Well, let's take the 3 points, isn't it? Roman Miloslavski deemed to be offside.
Once again, we saw there the Bordeaux front row busting the gain line, using the big, powerful runners. Toulouse caught offside, which again is just, as a player, as the coach, you can imagine, it's just get that back that extra half a metre. It's just an easy 3 points for the kickers nowadays. It's just an unnecessary penalty to give away, and an easy 3 points.
Yes, I suppose it happens. You start getting a bit tired, the mind starts wandering. Roman Miloslavski quite clearly there, 2 or 3 metres ahead of his teammates, and Pierre Bernard makes no mistake.
Things like that are just a mindset. In training all week, we'll talk about it. Back foot, get a metre behind the line, but as you say, fatigue sets in. You slowly start creeping and giving away penalties.
And that was a 3-point error from Roman Miloslavski. Well, you can see Gaël Fickou was straight after that, but I reckon he was at least 3 metres ahead of the kicker. On the anger, you can see the purpose with which Toulouse pursued that. Jean-André Marais with 4 on his back there on the ground, tidying that up for Bordeaux Begles. There's Madol over it. Well, was the ball out? You can see there it's going to be a scrum, and it's going to be a Toulouse ball. Also, you can see Thierry Dusautoir is on, so Guy Noves has played his strongest cards from the bench, and the penalty goes the way of Bordeaux Begles.
Fresh legs coming off the bench then. And don't let the size fool you. Those guys are powerhouses, and it showed.
A smile from Rafa Ibanez. Pierre Bernard finds touch. So it's boring in, isn't it, from the particularly the loose head side, I think, for Toulouse.
I think they'll be bitterly disappointed with that, Toulouse. Perfect starting position to try and get some points on the board.
So they've reduced the numbers in the line-out. Abbey goes to Clarkin. Bordeaux Begles have got the most impressive player in terms of the Opta stats when it comes to the line-out, actually still on the bench. Hugh Chalmers, expecting to see him at some point. Good run there from Tuafua. There goes Pooks. It would mean a lot to him to get a result on his return to the Ernest Vallon. Blair Connor has been a thorn in the side of Toulouse all night. There's Salbus. Benard. There goes Ray. The offload to Clarkin. Quick hands out to Le Bourhis. Here's Dali Dombo. Talavula. Little chip over the top. Well, was he blocked by Maxime Médard? Well, not for the first time tonight.
I think he was already committed, Médard. This first time we've seen him on the ball, and he's created something out of nothing.
Is this the full-backs union speaking up, is it? No, but you stand your ground, don't you?
Oh, of course.
And you make sure you make yourself as big as possible, I suppose, don't you? But that's entirely legal.
Totally legal.
But you certainly make them run round you, don't you? Let's have a look at this again.
Huget being brushed aside.
No, you're right, I'm with you. Entirely with you.
He's just run straight into him there.
He has, hasn't he? There's nothing that made
the most of it.
Well, there it is to Afua, no number on his back. Sabus. There's Bernard, the defence up again very quickly. Le Bourhis, Connor. Well, he tried to offload it before he even got it in his hands. Certainly one of the biggest men in French rugby. Cameron Treloar is on. One of the veterans. There goes Fakati. He's leaving. Cameron Treloar. Former Waratahs and Queensland Reds. There he is. Spent a bit of time down in the Basque Country. Played at Bayonne. Once used to write a very interesting blog about life as a foreigner in European rugby. Into interesting tales about his times, particularly in the Basque Country. Picamol being held back there by Sabus. It's Tolofua. Straight into Jean-Dre Marais. Boxis. The chip over the top. See the 212s going for it. Gael Ficou and also Julian Ray. Here's Johnston, who can run a bit, believe me. Jose Guia. That's the halfway line. Penalty to Toulouse.
Le 6 blanc, restez debout.
Well, the penalty against, there he is, Louis Madol.
It's another cheap penalty to give away. That there's no need when they're 60 metres from their line, 50, 60 metres in their line. Now they're 10. They were going nowhere to lose then. The Bordeaux defence was holding strong. To give a penalty like that is just unnecessary.
And Toulouse know how important this last 27.5 minutes are going to be. They're lying in 5th place. with all the other matches in round 14 having been completed. They're on 36 points and now 9 points behind Clermont-Auvergne. Clermont, who were held for a long time by Biarritz today. There goes Florian Fritz, as only he knows how. Hard and straight. Picamol. Great hands. Here's Medard out to Houget. Begles with a little backflip there. There's Begles again. On to Tolofua. Into Abei. Dusan. Looking in the offload. Houget tracking. Dusan. Tolofua that time. Oh, and it's spilled forward, and a chance maybe to counter here for Bordeaux-Begles. Here's Dali Dombo. Vicu inside comes Connor, the speed of Connor. Le Bourhis was inside, but he couldn't find either man. How costly was that? Could have been worth 7 points. Dusan. Well, the gaps will start to open now. Census Johnston has lost it forward. Fumbled there by Moret. Went backwards though. Here goes Le Bourhis. Connor in space again. Just inside the Toulouse half. That was Gendré Moret. Look at the tackles going in hard. Here's Abei. On to Tuetu. Gets it away to Talabula. What a talent Talabula is. There's so many wings in Fiji. Penalty advantage to Bordeaux-Begles. Talabula made virtually all his appearances for Fiji at fullback. There's Saubus. There's a penalty coming for Bordeaux-Begles, but the referee's still playing the advantage. Tolofua penalised.
Cracking moment, piece of play. Toulouse on the front foot, sloppy turnover, then Bordeaux threatening from their own line. O'Connor making a great switch then, the timing, but unfortunately the pass was to no one. That's a real let-off for Toulouse there, actually. 7 points there would have put them under an enormous amount of pressure.
Yes, we often talk, it's something of a Anglo-Saxon cliche, I guess they'd probably call it in France, the attitude of French teams on the road, and certainly there are examples which serve to illustrate that from time to time the French are not 100% committed when they're on the road. But tonight, look at this, Bordeaux-Begles, who operate on a budget which is not much more than 1/3 of Toulouse's. Toulouse, who can name 2 entirely different starting 15s that you'd expect to blow away the best that Bordeaux-Begles can offer. But Bordeaux-Begles have come here, remember 3 or 4 seasons ago, struggling in mid-division in Pro Dirt. They lead Toulouse with just 25 minutes to go.
I think it's the mentality been instilled by the Ibanez and Worsley and their coaches like that. They've been playing like this all season. A no-fear attitude when they're on the road. And at home's the same. They've not changed their style of play.
And of course, Ibanez and Worsley know one another from Wasps. And look at this, it's Gendré Moret. There's a penalty advantage, surely. This is the opportunity. A metre out. There goes Cameron Treloar. Still the advantage. They know they'll have to take... Oh, and then Moret has spilled it, but we'll go back for the penalty. And Alexandra Ruiz here is going to speak to somebody. Is this a warning of future yellows?
Monsieur, je vous fais une remarque cette fois ici. D'accord? Donc, faire passer le message.
Well, it's the old D word, isn't it? Discipline, which really means you're on a warning.
Very fortunate there, I think, not to get a yellow constant infringement. Great to see Bordeaux now going for the try and not the 3 points. Shows everybody how confident they are and the mood they're in, taking the game to Toulouse.
No, that's a very good point, isn't it? Raphael Ibanez and Joe Worsley, friends, colleagues, teammates from Wasps. Certainly instilled a belief attitude in this side. They now believe they can go to places like Toulouse and prevail. Good counter drive there from Toulouse. Matthew Clark in there doing the steering. Here it is, it's Tuetu who's got it. within 3 metres. Is there for Sarbus, Pooks, Benard, there's Le Bourgis. The defence strong from Toulouse at the moment. Bordeaux have possession but being driven back. There it is again for Ray. And the attempt at the drop, and you have to say, in the end, and I think that's Benard who's gone down, and one way or another he's clearly been caught after the ball went away. Florian Fritz is over him. I wonder if he's got a bit of a guilty conscience.
Possibly.
Interested to see this. Because Benard's clearly hurt.
It's easy to say it was the wrong decision, but they've been soaking up 4-5. No, he was already in mid-air when he kicked it. He was fully committed.
It looks like he might have turned his ankle, actually.
Yeah, I think so. It wasn't a late challenge. He was fully committed. He just caught him on the back of the legs.
Left ankle, isn't it? Yeah. Might be the left ankle that's just been turned. Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it?
Faites le changement, s'il vous plaît, messieurs.
But Bordeaux put them under so much pressure to take a snap. Okay, he got one in the first half. It's easy to say because he missed it. Just continue soaking up that pressure, putting the Toulouse defence, making them make tackles. The 3 points eventually will come. If not, a try possibly.
Well, we're making the change at fly half. Pierre Benard's coming off. Nicolas Sanchez, the regular starter at fly half these days for Argentina, comes on. Sanchez being told in the last few days that his contract will not be renewed at the end of the season. Less a reflection on Sanchez himself, rather more how players from Argentina, well, they may find themselves playing in now an expanded Southern Hemisphere international competition, but as individuals in club rugby, certainly their value has plummeted.
It's disappointing that as well for Bordeaux, because he's a talented player. He's a player who takes the ball flat to the line, can create something out of nothing, and there's a real attacking threat.
But there's such a number, isn't there, of very talented players from Argentina. I know Marcelo Bosch was a teammate of yours who was let go, and I know Santiago Fernandez is now playing at Bayonne, a quality player who was let go by Montpellier for that reason. They simply had too many Argentinians, didn't they?
You can totally understand why the clubs do it. It's just very, very unfortunate.
Yes, the Rugby Championship means they don't get them back until the middle of October. Then there's always a chance, because of the absolute ferocity of that competition, they're not going to come back, perhaps not in one piece, certainly a little bit jaded after a long period when they've been going back and forth around the Southern Hemisphere. So much travelling involved in that competition. Well, here goes Pickermont. Dusan. Florian Fritz.
No, jouez, jouez.
21.
That looked rather high.
Yes. 21 minutes to go. It's still Bordeaux by a single point. Man and ball there. Toulouse have it. Here's Dusan. Nianga. Double tackle there. Florian Fritz, head down. Trying to get over the gate line. Here's Thierry Dussatoir. Tuetu with the tackle. Census Johnston that time. The offload, really soft hands again from Louis Pickermont. Such a great touch for a huge man.
Fantastic line speed being shown from Bordeaux. Rushing up, putting the Toulouse defence under attack under all sorts of stress.
Until that good bit of work there from Fickou, they were forcing Toulouse back. Here's Miloslavski. Toulouse looking for the line break here that'll give them the momentum. Here's Dusan again. Fickou, upended by Mador. Here's Johnston. Bit of space now for the big man.
That's what we like to see. Seeing 135-kilogram props running down the wing.
So, Chili Boy Ralapelle. Two-handed take by Dusatoir. There goes Ficou. 18 minutes to go. Still Bordeaux lead. Ralapelle. South African rugby's first ever black captain. Significant event really in the history of South African rugby. Ralapelle.
I think Census Johnson doesn't look too good. I think he's going to have to go off. He can hardly run. He's just hobbling around the field at the moment.
Well, did you see Johan Maestri there? For a man of his quality and experience, that was just an act of 100% indiscipline. We'll see that again. Johan Maestri took off as if he was expecting to fly. Yeah, Census is limping, isn't he?
Yeah, no one likes to see that. It's very unfortunate. Here we go. Oh. Surely the linesman has to step in there. No arms, off his feet.
But that is yellow card stuff, isn't it? It's pure chance that somebody's not hurt. Yeah, Census.
He's cleaning out someone there who's nowhere near the ball.
So Johan Montes is on for a second shift. Wearing 3. Oh dear, that was a bit untidy from Louis Medal. Gave Saubus no chance at all. Here's Dusatoir. There goes Scott Ferreira. Dusa. Buxis. Ficou. High tackle without a doubt there from Felix Le Bourhis. The arms out with a bit of help from 5,000 people in the main stand. That's Vincent Ichito there with the beanie on. He's the backs coach for Bordeaux Begles. So here goes Buxis.
Oh.
Quite a hook there from the fly half.
Who'd have thought? Jinxed him.
Yes, he's not done much wrong until that point.
It's a big let-off for Bordeaux, that.
Now, Bordeaux Begles, if they can weather the next 5 minutes, it will be all pressure on Toulouse. Oh dear, the fumble, but it's gone backwards from Picamol. Well, not according to the referee.
This is where Bordeaux need to be playing in Toulouse's half. Just putting the ball down into the corners, making them play out. Quite fortunate the whistle went then, because that was rather high. But I think unintentional.
Now, you've been in a situation at Biarritz when maybe you're expected to win, you're 1 point down, 10 or 15 minutes to go, crowd starts getting on your back. Last thing you want to hear, isn't it?
It is, but it's very French. Games like this happen. You just got to keep believing and doing what you're doing. Keep the structures in place, and keep. Just because the crowd keep whistling and booing doesn't mean you should start throwing the ball around in sevens. You just got to keep to form, keep to structure, and keep believing in what you're doing is right.
Well, this is the point maybe where the contest turns. So 45 metres and maybe a little bit more, and that time there's no mistake. And Lionel Buxis has put Toulouse in front, and the last minute has really changed the complex of this contest. Bordeaux Begles 1 man down, and now 2 points down. Here's Hugh Chalmers, the bearded one.
I thought November had finished.
Well, I think that started in November 2011. There's Jefferson Poirot.
He'll be very disappointed with that.
Yeah, young man Jefferson Poirot, just 21.
Oh, it happens. He puts his team under a bit of pressure now. But they can't lose focus.
Toussaint finds touch. 13.5 minutes to go. Another 8.5 minutes or so with just 14 men on the pitch. Rafael Ibanez just whispering a few instructions.
Sometimes having 40 men galvanises your team, and that's what he'll be hoping here.
Well, it happened for Biarritz last week against Worcester in the Amlin Challenge Cup. 10 points down or something like that.
Maybe we need to play with 14 men every week.
Yes. Lost Thomas Senagel, got sent off for a second yellow. After that, it was all one-way traffic. Begles. Out to Fritz. Bit of a spring in the step now to the men in red and black. Ferreira. Dusan. Here's Begles, looks up. Sees a bit of a gap over the shoulder there. It's a great kick. Back goes Talabula. There's Dali Dombo.
Knowing Toulouse now, they'll just slow the game down. They'll play everything. They'll use Begles' boot, play everything in Bordeaux's half, and make them trying to play out. I've seen it time and time again. Slow walking to line outs. People going down on one knee. And now they've got the lead. It's going to be very tough now for Bordeaux to come back, especially with 14 men.
And it's one of the old hands who's coming on, Clement Poitrenaud. It's one of the finest touches of the season so far when Clement Poitrenaud set up the try for Maxime Médard, wasn't it? In defeat at Grenoble.
He's not a bad replacement to bring on with 15 minutes to go.
He's not bad, is he? Super player.
12, 13 winger, fullback.
Yeah, they've got 3 world-class fullbacks, haven't they? And well, they've still got it. The referee says that went forward from Nicolas Sanchez, who was trying to indicate to Alexandre Ruiz that it went backward. It'll be Clément Menadia, who's got a great try-scoring record. The replacement hooker waiting to come on. He's already got 4 tries in the top 14. Look at this, it's a penalty.
Huge scrum by Bordeaux then, with 7 men. Kick to touch, put Toulouse back under some pressure.
So here is Sanchez. Quite a long touch from the middle of the park. But you do think here that Bordeaux, they deserve more than just a losing bonus point. Reminder that the next round of matches are all next Sunday. 3 games being covered by BT Sports, a real Sunday special. Well, the advantage here coming in from the side for Toulouse. So they've got a penalty coming. Opportunity to maybe get some more here. Well, now this is a crucial penalty.
Once again, we've seen the Bordeaux forwards keeping it tight, forcing Toulouse into making an error, and this could put them in the lead.
Joan Montes, the guilty party, when you see him coming in from the side. There, that's well, that's Montes there, isn't it? Matthew Clarkin, the captain there, just getting some instructions from Rafa. Well, Nicolas Sanchez, he slots this over. And Bordeaux Begles win. I wonder if that announcement about him not having his contract extended at the end of the season might be altered. Well, we'll never know, because that's a horrible kick.
Yeah, he didn't catch that nice, did he? Under a lot of pressure there. But you'd expect him to do a little bit better than that. Yeah, he'd be disappointed. But they've still got 9 minutes. He's still got 9 minutes to make amends.
Yeah, he's an international fly half, an international kicker. You'd expect a bit better than that, wouldn't you?
You would, but
I know we're setting
part
high
of the
standards.
sport.
Yeah, no, that's right. Little chip over the top from Sanchez, who knocks it on. Here goes Dusan onto Joan Montes. He must have had his heart in his mouth, having conceded that penalty. There's Dusan again. Still about another 2.5 minutes to go on the sin bin. There goes Radapelle.
I wonder if Toulouse will keep it tight and go for the 3 points, force a penalty.
There's Thierry Dusatoir over it, the France captain. Toulouse temporarily reduced to 14. There's Begles, Ficou, the space here. Poitrenaud's got Huget outside. Huget, the kick ahead. Well, the referee's blown the whistle, but that was well taken by Talabulu, who called the mark. And Talabulu's off and away. They weren't 10. Quick thinking. Huget gets sent back. Guy Neves is not happy. The glasses are off. Well, he's having a go there at, he said the numero 2, didn't he? So he's talking about Ole Avei.
I think he was saying you couldn't carry on playing with number 2 on the floor.
Yes, Radapelli, who was hurt. So it was actually a reasonable point that Guy Neves was making there. Here goes Medard. Florian Fritz. In steps Gaël Ficou. 6 minutes to go. A minute or so longer of the sin bin. There's the cross kick. It's a well-timed kick. Good run from Huget. One step. The offload, and then it's gone forward. I'd like to see that again. I reckon Huget was very quickly out of the blocks. Was it a false start, I wonder?
Fantastic vision. Was that Begles who kicked that, or Fritz? Fantastic vision to see Huget out wide. And in the end, fantastic scramble defence, forcing Dusatoir to knock on the wall. But a let-off for Bordeaux.
Yes, it certainly was. Be nice to see that again. Certainly a superbly timed kick. I do wonder if Yoann Huget was maybe a little too swiftly away.
Just a bit of loose kicking there, putting Toulouse back on the front foot and putting Bordeaux under extreme pressure here. With 15 minutes hard enough to defend against Toulouse, but with 14 near impossible. Fantastic kick.
Well, the angle there, not allowing us to pass judgment on whether Huget was ahead of the kicker. So, 5 minutes to go. Bordeaux trailing Toulouse by 2. They'll soon be back to a full 15. Penalty.
Another fantastic, powerful scrum from Bordeaux, right under when they're under pressure.
And to think they're doing this with their loose head, their replacement loose head, in the sin bin. Here he is, he's ready to come. Also on goes Tuafua. So they're now back to a full 15 men.
Tuapua's had a great game. He's carried very well. He's been strong in the contact, and he's been a menace all around the park.
And that after having picked up a point-blank ball off the boot of Pierre Berard in the first few minutes.
It might have woken him up.
Well, contests between these two sides have been incredibly close in recent times. Bordeaux Begles won the round 1 encounter by 31 points to 25, but before that, the 3 previous meetings were decided by 1 point, 2 points and 1 point. It's 2 points now. They have a history of close encounters. Here's Ray. Poitrenaud. Terrific positioning from the replacement fullback. Maybe the kick was not the most inspired. And that's gone into touch. It will be a Toulouse line out. 3 minutes to go. £18 points to 16. Nervous times for Guy Noves. Well, Toulouse lost here the last time they were at home by 16 points to 14 to Connacht. Certainly the locals have been brought up this season on big victories in the top 14. It won't be the maximum 5 tonight. In fact, they'll be grateful to just get away with 4 points here, Toulouse. There's Picamol. The clock says 2 minutes remaining. Bordeaux Begles desperate to get their hands on the ball.
Great D by Lopez. Quick off the line, solid hit on Fritz.
Dusatoir. Toulouse in possession, but being sent back into their own half by Bordeaux Begles.
This is exactly what Bordeaux want to do, not commit too many to the rucks, keep as many players as they can on their feet, and force Toulouse to play.
There's Dusan. Tuafua straight over the ball there. There's Johan Montes. Being held up by Gendre Marais. Dusatoir rolling up to halfway. Penalty. Well, is this in range? It's 50 minutes. If they had Pierre Berard out there, you can be assured that Berard would have been calling for the kicking tee, because he can kick it 50 metres. Less certain about Sanchez. Well, Ibanez saying you, and go for the 3 points.
Guy Noves will be asking questions. What were they doing playing in kicking range? They're 2 points ahead, 2 minutes to go. There's no need to play in the area of the field that they were doing. Get the ball down there, make them play.
Well, this is it. The match hinges on this kick. Jean-Baptiste Elissalde, I would suggest he can't bear to watch. It is Manu Salbus, 54 metres between him and Bordeaux Begles, and what would be a stunning win, but he hasn't got the distance by a long way. And this will be fired into touch, and there might be time for the line-out. It's not over yet. Here we go. There goes the hooter. There's Dali Dombo. They mustn't panic. If they can somehow work a position here. There's Tuafua. It's the final play of the match. Salbus. They've missed 2 penalties now, have Bordeaux Begles. A little stab through. Well, in the end, was that the right option? Jean-Marc Dusan does the tidying up, and Toulouse have been given a real scare here at the Stade Ernest Vallon. But in the end, they have prevailed over Bordeaux Begles by 18 points to 16. Think of the men up front as being the big fellas, and maybe the quick lads who are not as physically imposing in the back line. But if we look at the back 3 here, Médard maybe to put to one side, but you've got Jose Gear on one wing, and you've got Houget on the other. They're 2 huge men, aren't they?
They're big, fast, powerful men. In the tight, can break tackles. Also out wide, they're extremely fast, agile on their feet. And when they get the ball in space, it's very difficult to defend them.
And you know, as a fullback, and so often you find yourself having to make those tackles in open spaces, you just have to make them, don't you? And you cannot afford to make a single mistake as a fullback.
One mistake and it's a try, and the more times these guys get the ball, the more likely they are to do something with it and create opportunities for their team. It doesn't help when they're 105 kgs either.
Well, there's Louis Picamol, may not be quite as quick as Gear and Houget, but well in excess of 105. There's Fritz spinning it out to Ficou, and here is Jose Gear, well over 6 feet tall. Not an ounce of fat on him. Médard. Madol made the tackle that time. There again for Dusan, got it away to Jose Gear, who's that familiar forward lean, and look at the meterage he made there despite the tackle. He's been stripped, and it's Jandre Moret, the South African, who has it. Well, that was timely for Bordeaux Begles. Bernard in the in-goal area. But despite the attentions of Houget, it was Adams who got the ball away. Here's Medard. Another tackle from Louis Medol. Talabula coming in from the side. It's going to be a penalty, and that is very indisciplined from the Fiji international. There, the little casual poke by Lionel Begles. And Toulouse are now in front. Guy Neves and Johan Houget. Believe me, Guy Neves is not short. Houget is a good 3 or 4 inches taller.
He's probably telling him to ask Jose Gear to give him the ball next time.
Joe Worsley, you can see at the back there on the left. The defence coach for Bordeaux Begles. Bordeaux Begles won't have come here with high hopes. They can come away with anything at all, a losing bonus point. I suspect they'll be quite happy. For clubs like Bordeaux Begles, well, look, they've turned it. It's the start of a very important month or so for Toulouse players in particular. The Six Nations is looming, and the Rouge et Noir expect to be well represented in the France squad. There's also a European quarter-final spot to wrap up. Meanwhile, at home, the race for the top 14's top 6 is going into overdrive. There may also be a backlash on the way for Bordeaux Begles. Toulouse don't get beaten often at the Stade de France, but that's what happened 2 weeks ago when Connacht sprung one of the great shocks in the Heineken Cup. It's Toulouse against Bordeaux Begles, and here's the Toulouse side that Guy Neves has picked to get the job done. 6 changes to the starting 15, which won well in Galway last weekend. Among those retained are the half-back Jean-Marc Dusan and Lionel Begles. Maxime Medard switches from the wing to full-back. Louis Picamol is at 7 and will be anxious to impress. The All-Black Jose Gear and Christopher Tolofua have been the busiest players in the Toulouse squad so far this season. The replacements include 3 South Africans, Radapelle, Ferreira and Vermaak. Jean-Baptiste Poux played in 9 major finals for Toulouse and returns to the Ernest Vallon for the first time since departing to Bordeaux during the summer. It's a fearsome front row with the Samoan hooker Ole Avei and Benjamin Sarr combining with Poux. Fly half Pierre Bernard is one of the league's most successful points accumulators, while no one has scored more tries this season than Matuisela Talabula. The replacements include the Argentina fly half Nicolas Sanchez. The referee is Alexandre Ruiz. Running the lines, Patrick Péchambert, who has taken charge of a top 14 final, and Laurent Schlaffer, the television match official, if required, Bruno Bessot. It's 5th against the side in a share of 9th place. Toulouse anxious to maintain the pressure on the likes of Clermont and Toulon. Clermont, having beaten Biarritz earlier in the day, picking up the full 5 points. And Toulon, well, they did a similar job on Montpellier. There's Jean-Marc Dusan out to Lionel Begles. Picamol with the offload. Maxime Medard straight into the action. Medard playing at fullback today. They've got plenty of options at fullback at Toulouse with Johan Houget and Clement Poitrenaud. Well, the ball being dropped there by Dali Dombo.
Hey, capitaine, s'il vous plaît. On commence pas.
Bordeaux Begles penalised.
Toulouse showing early doors there, the dominance up front, 2 big carries, and their intent to play. I should think tonight the information from Neves will be to try and get a bonus point. Very ominous. Early mistake by the 15 for Bordeaux. He'll want to settle the nerves. And
well, Well, there's Yannick Josian, who said earlier this week that he would consider a return back to rugby, perhaps as a coach. Who knows? He's here tonight. Interesting. Christopher Tolofua misses his man. That's been something of an Achilles heel for Toulouse hookers over the course of the last 2 or 3 seasons since the departure of William Servat. There goes Picamole. Good throw, Steenkamp, the Springbok. Here's Yannick Nyanga. On to Joe Takori. Takori, a top 14 champion last season with Castra. There is Tolofua again. Well, it was there for Jean-Marc Doussin. The referee awarding the penalty. Johan Montes is off. And see Guino Vest there and Jean-Baptiste Elassal, the coaching staff from Toulouse, as we see Lionel Berksis and Berksis. When it's going right for Berksis, it looks so easy, doesn't it?
Oh, he's kicking, he makes everything look easy when it's going right. I think consistency is one of his problems. I think Toulouse this week, or the last week as well, would have been a kick at the backside with their result at home to Connaught.
Avey finding Matt Clarkin, the captain. There goes Avey, who's the first pick hooker for Samoa these days, keeping out the Clermont-Manti Polo. Out from Adams, onto the fly-off Bernard. There's Domvo coming into the line. No, he's very highly regarded at Bordeaux as an attacking fullback. Benjamin Sarr. Well, there was nobody there, but Avey goes and tidies up. Avey, who's certainly been one of the players of the season so far. There's Bernard, changing direction. Well, the direction on the kick, not as good as perhaps it should have been.
They will be disappointed with the outcome there, but the build-up was good. A few phases occasionally. A little bit of leeway would be nice.
Yes, and according to the letter of the law, there was at least one player in a red jersey there ahead of the ball before it was kicked. There's Clark in the try scorer, onto Avey. Scooped up by Pooks to Adams. Bernard with the change direction straight into his number 8, Tuafua. And picked that up right in the face.
That is going to hurt.
Picamole, the big handoff. Not many people in the top 14 haven't felt the force of that hand at some point.
He doesn't look in a good way, does he?
Here goes Gael Fickou. What a talent he is. Doussin. On to Miloslavski, the tackle from the try scorer Clarkin. Doussin again. On here to Tolofua. Dragged to the ground by Avey. Doussin. On to Takori. Another crunching contact there for Tuafua, the number 8. Nyanga just spinning through the tackle. Here's going to throw Steenkamp. Picamole with the pickup. 12.5 minutes gone. Bordeaux Begles lead, 7 points to 3. Berksis, the long pass out. Here's Medard. Oh, great little break there from Gia. The ball's still there. It's Medard being held up by Talabula. Go throw Steenkamp. Jean-Baptiste Pooks almost threw himself at Steenkamp's knees. Here's Tolofua. Into Tuafua. Back here, the attempt to the drop's going to come. Berksis had to reach down for it. It's a good strike from Berksis.
There's only one thing happening when he gets in that position, and that's 3 points. I think going back to Jose Gia, then when Medard created the overlap on the outside, here we see it. Everything had been done. If he just had slipped the ball to Huget, then I'm sure Huget would have raced for the corner. And as it is, they'll settle for 3 points. Easy money.
Yeah, let's talk a bit about the back three here, because we traditionally, those whose, should we say that many of their opinions shape 15, 20 years ago with
the game, getting over on the front foot, fast dynamic ball to release the Bordeaux back three.
Yes, we've got a glimpse there of the Bordeaux Begles director of rugby, Raphael Ibanez, 98 caps for France. Here it is for Medor, Louis Medor, already a try scorer this season in the home win against Oyonnax. Good drive from the Bordelais. There's Clarkin, the captain, the little inside ball to Connor. Looked a shade forward perhaps. There's the scrum half, Henny Adams. Didn't play for South Africa, but once played for the emerging Springboks. That's the Toulouse 22 you can see in the background, taken on by Gendré Moret. Another of the South Africans on view here. He certainly had a good start to his career in the top 14. There goes the former Rouge et Noir, Pooks. Advantage being played here to Bordeaux Begles. Medor turning around and gathering it. Scooped up there by Ray. Well, it appeared the referee was playing an advantage, but he's letting play continue. Through goes Connor. Well, where's the support? Terrific break from Connor. There it is. Well gathered by Adams. On to Clarkin. Superb drive from Bordeaux Begles.
That's what we've come here to see tonight. Superb offering, fantastic break from the 11 O'Connor. Picking a weakness in the line, scything through it, and then the support was there to score a wonderful try in the opening 10 minutes of the game.
Nobody has scored more tries in the top 14 this season than the Matuasela Talabula, who's on the right wing for Bordeaux Begles this evening. Just the start they were looking for. They've only ever won twice in Toulouse. 2 wins in the same season in 1992 and 93. Galin knocks it on.
Première faute à l'avant du rouge. Deuxième du 8 blanc. Flexion. Lié. Jeu. 3 blancs.
Well, the penalty against Benjamin Sarr. Jean-Marc Toussaint wants to get on with it.
S'il vous plaît. C'est là ou là?
Well, from the mark, it's either from here or there, but not over there, is what Alexandre Ruiz is saying.
It's frustrating as a player when you want to play quickly and keep the game going when that happens. I understand it's the letter of the law, but